Biden-Harris, this is the most radical, this is the most extreme, this is the most far left, out of the mainstream ticket of any modern American political party in history. And guess what? It looks like reality is now finally beginning to set in for ever so slow and forgetful Joe as his campaign is devolving into a full-blown panic tonight. Just yesterday, his campaign press secretary had a complete on-air meltdown and disaster when asked simple questions by our own Bret Baier, simple questions about Biden's position on the China travel ban. Did you support it when Donald Trump implemented it? Which he didn't. Whether Joe needs a teleprompter to get through softball interviews, because look at this recent interview. Biden gets the question, move it up, move it up. Take a look.
I would like to know, what will your administration do to help them give them that chance? Thank you.
Let's move it up here. You know, there used to be a basic bargain in this country. Workers shared in the wealth their work helped create.
Move it up, move it up. And it gets worse because Biden tonight caught in yet another lie. New York Post exposing his history of falsely claiming that he predicted the 9/11 attacks. Remember, Joe even imposed the bin Laden raid. Last night, Biden reportedly had another bizarre moment, telling a campaign fundraiser that he hopes the debates don't devolve into an all-out brawl. Really, Joe? If I were you, you might want to focus on figuring out how much coffee you're going to drink the day of the debate. And how you're going to answer a question without a teleprompter. Move it up, please. Guys, move. OK. Because, of course, Biden has a history of this sort of vicious rhetoric, as other Democrats do. Remember Biden? Take a look.
The press always asks me, don't I wish I were debating him? No, I wish we were in high school. I could take him behind the gym. That's what I wish. I didn't make a mistake, but they asked me, would I like to debate this gentleman? And I said, no. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
So Joe would probably just fall over. By the way, not just Biden. Every corner of this new radical, extreme Democratic Socialist Party, they've been caught spreading nonstop hatred and rage and encouraging, well, what we've been witnessing well over 100 days now. And guess what? We'll just give you a small sample.
Sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue with their allies in the Congress of the United States.
You see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd.
When they go low, we kick them.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
I'll put Mr. Burgess up against Sean Hannity. He'll tear him up.
That's Obama threatening me. Good thing I'm not part of the woke generation. Ask yourself, after hearing all of this, Democrats sound an awful lot like they're encouraging what we've been witnessing playing out in cities and the streets all across the country. And, of course, denying the reality. What responsibility do these Democrats and Joe Biden have for refusing to condemn the rioting, denying it for months? And now it comes as, what, barely there, forgetful Joe and his campaign continue to spin in a million different directions, flipping and flopping and flailing on everything from fracking to the travel ban to policing to violent rioting that he called mostly peaceful, even manufacturing and trade he's lying about. Listen to Biden yesterday talking about support for the failed NAFTA deal that Trump renegotiated, not him and not Barack. And guess what? They didn't do criminal justice reform. They didn't do police reform. They didn't do opportunity zones. And they didn't shatter every record low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women in the workplace, youth unemployment, African American youth unemployment. No, their recovery, let's see, the worst since the 40s, 13 million more Americans on food stamps, 8 million more in poverty, Joe. That's after 8 years. You're his vice president. What have you accomplished in 50 years, Joe? Anyway, take a look.
renegotiated NAFTA and you didn't, is the point. I mean,
Because we had a Republican Congress that wouldn't go along with us renegotiating it.
but doesn't he deserve some credit for that? It's better. The USMCA is better than NAFTA.
It is better than NAFTA.
Whoops, Trump's better than Biden. Yeah, his plan worked out much better. Ask yourself this. Why is now Biden changing his tune, trying to misdirect voters? It's because, let's see, Biden doesn't actually believe in anything. He is a professional, all-talk, no-action politician, the total embodiment of all things the Washington swamp and sewer. All talk, all promises, gets nothing done. He was vice president for 8 years. I can't think of a single thing that he did in that time to make Americans' lives better. Donald Trump kept all his promises, and the struggles don't stop there because the ever-slow, forgetful Joe is behind on enthusiasm, behind on policy, and his polls are collapsing after embracing, of course, Bolshevik Bernie socialism and the economy-killing Green New Deal, and his plan goes beyond that, pledging trillions in the new Green Deal. So he's now being forced to try and erase his past positions, rewrite history daily, and the mob and the media, they just ignore it all, pretending like he never said that he was in favor of redirecting funds away from the police and saying the police become the enemy, and trying to pretend that he never said he'd ban fracking, not once, not twice, but numerous times, and trying to pretend like he's actually accomplished something after being in Washington nearly 50 years. And of course, this show will continue to do the job the mob and the media will never do. Actually tell you the truth. Vetting the candidate, Joe Biden, because guess what? Biden already put down his far left wish list. It's on paper in stated promises he made with Bolshevik Bernie himself. The Bolshevik Bernie Biden manifesto released this summer lays out in all the detail you ever want the new extreme, radical, socialist, lawless Democratic Party's plans for your future. 110 pages outlines massive tax increases, trillions in new increases, trillions in new spending for the new Green Deal madness, wide open borders. It's essentially an all-encompassing welfare state where everything basically is free, which means that it'll be funded by you, we, the American people, the taxpayers. Now, these are Biden's stated promises that he's put in writing. The manifesto makes clear that pretty much everything is a human right. Page 17, no one should have to spend more than 30% of their income for housing. Who's going to pay for the rest of that mortgage? That sounds like it was written by Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. The document proves that Biden shares a vision similar to Bolshevik Bernie on health care, establishing a heavily subsidized government-run public option. How did Obamacare work out? Biden also vows to implement a version of this new Green Deal that will go further than Ocasio-Cortez's new Green Deal, and putting Ocasio-Cortez on his Climate Unity Task Force and phasing out all fossil fuels in 15 years. That would be the lifeblood of the world's economy. And additionally, Biden wants hundreds of millions in new solar panels. How'd Solyndra work out? Which we know will mean higher energy prices for all businesses and every American. And by the way, we'll now be dependent on outside energy again. And while the plan doesn't explicitly call for dismantling the police, Biden and Bernie, they want a, quote, civilian corps of unarmed first responders. Okay, we're going to send in a psychiatrist into a potentially violent situation, domestic dispute, community policing. What exactly does that mean? And sounds an awful lot like defunding the police, like he said he'd do. And the Biden-Bernie manifesto also calls for the elimination of cash bail. You know, they did that in New York. Okay, anarchists get arrested, they get sent out the same night to rejoin the activities, which has been a complete disaster, allowing violent criminals back out on the street with zero consequences. They were having bank robberies go on. Guy robs a bank, gets caught, gets let out, goes out, robs another bank, doing it 5-6 times in New York City. Biden claims to care the most about vulnerable communities. His education plan would take away all choice from poor and working families with the worst school districts. For example, he wants to burden charter schools with more government regulation. He makes it clear that school choice programs don't have much of a future in Joe Biden's America. Same guy that didn't want integration of schools because he didn't want his kids going to schools that were, quote, racial jungles. And get this, no standardized testing, because Biden and Bernie, they want to eliminate that too. How do we know how the kids are doing? On immigration, Biden doubling down on open borders, amnesty, the United Sanctuary States of America. He wants to end construction of the border wall, wants to end the president's Remain in Mexico policy, which has reduced asylum fraud to this country and is perhaps the president's greatest first-term policy achievement. In other words, Biden, Kamala Harris, they want us to be the United Sanctuary States of America, just like Kamala's state of California, along with implementing a 100-day moratorium on any deportation. What does it all mean? It means that all of this is a preview of coming attractions. He's telling you what his agenda is. Is America listening? The destructive agenda that Joe Biden is stating and his supporters have put on paper, they're ready to unleash all of this if they win in 53 days. Now, Biden can try and hide it all, and the media is certainly doing the work for him, but it's still out there. They still wrote it down on paper. That's still their stated plan. Make no mistake, Biden and Harris, they're ready, they're willing, they're able to surrender to the radicals that are them and their now entire party. And by the way, all of this, you decide in 53 days.